My name is Suzanne Nguyen, and I lead the developer connection team at Samsung. And what we do in our team is we go to events like this, we host events. We also have a developer program that we support, and and we also have great things that we try to do better for the developers. We also lead the Samsung Developer Conference, which I'll tell you a little bit about in a little bit. But my talk is mobile gaming. We're not in Kansas anymore, and the reason I say that is because I have this feeling every time I go to a conference that we're really not in Kansas anymore. There's so many different things and so many, like the realities of what you see is different. How people play the game is so different. And today, what you have today, what do we all do? We download the games, right, from an app store of any sort, Amazon, the iOS App Store, the Apple App Store, there's the Samsung App Store, Google Play, and that's how we do it. We just download, right? Well, the future is not that anymore. There's a lot more to the future, and there's a whole ecosystem out there that we haven't even touched. So I'd love to explore some of that as we talk today. So, how does that future look? And I'm kind of going back to Dorothy's, follow the yellow brick road. Because at the end of that road is another world. It's, mixed reality. You all know about augmented reality. It's been here forever, right? Games tried to put, augmented reality in the games. It's, it hasn't really taken off that much. I mean, maybe Pokemon Go, but, most of us turn that option off. And then sometimes, we'll in a nice place, we'll leave it on and we'll take a picture and we'll share, right? But it's very popular with social media and in the social media, and it's, with the stickers and all the things that we come out with that, different ways of playing the game. But I feel like, it's not quite there yet, but it will be eventually. But the one thing that's really, really popular is VR, right? VR has taken off. If you attended like the last game developer conference, what do you see throughout when you're walking through the exhibition floor? It's all about VR. Everyone is in VR. So Samsung also is also in VR, right? We have our headset with a standalone device, and you can play all these different games. And what's different? What's like fun or different about it is it does take you into this whole new world. It takes you away from where you are. And if you're stressed sometimes, like I am, when you put on that headset, it really takes you into another world. And it takes me away from the stress that I'm in today, and it gives me this reality where I feel like I'm in another space, and I'm reaching out, and you can, they're all around me. But then there's also like meditation and yoga that's in VR. That's cool stuff that, we could just see that. And then when we're talking about bedridden, like the elderly or the people who are bedridden and they can't go anywhere, and they put on a VR headset, I mean, tears will come down their eyes, because what happens? They're actually in another world, and they can go to another country, and they can experience something else, or they can be in another world and play a game, and it takes them away from the depression and the sadness of the moment. And I felt like that's like something that the future is moving towards, right? But I don't want us all to end up being, like in the movie, Disney movie Eve, where a whole bunch of us are like, we can't move around because all we're doing is sitting in one space, and we're really fat, and we're, and they're rolling us around, because but somewhere in that. So if you later in the talk, you'll see that we may not be there. So enhancing, one second today, sorry. So gameplay, games is different. Can you imagine, I have a headset on, and these zombies are heading towards me. That freaks me out. You see like haunted houses, like you're walking through, and you have this headset on, and it's like creak, creak, and you hear the sound, right, as the doors are open, or just these special effects. And I feel like I'm actually there, and it really, we were in a room all together, and we were just experimenting. It was near Halloween time. We were trying to find like really cool games to showcase at the shows, and we were playing this one game. It's like Haunted Mansion, and it wasn't scary. scary, scary, but just the sound effect, and we had, we were all sitting around and watching one of our colleagues play, and she was like, oh my God, and she's jumping around, and it's so, it was just sitting there, and we were just laughing, because it's hilarious to me. With VR, the most entertaining part is watching somebody else put on that headset and play. But it does give you a different experience, right? And I think that's, with the mobile headset now, in the VR headset, you can be mobile. You could be sitting on an airplane and being in this world and watching these and playing these games. You don't have to be tethered, even though, you know, there are some really, really great tethered VR, you know, games and experiences. But with the mobile headsets, everyone's going in that route. So gaming in VR, it's really hot. Everywhere you go now, E3, there's all these VR experiences. So one is this, and then mixed reality, right? You see the guy in the bike in the middle, there's a partner of ours called Verzoom. And this guy is biking, but he's playing a game. And he has to continue to bike to move throughout his game. And it's like, so you know, this is a great form of exercise, don't you think? You know, 24-hour fitness, wouldn't you think that they'd like to love that, right? Wouldn't you mind like going into, you know, instead of, I hate working out, you can tell. But, but you know, if I was to sit in a bike and I'm actually playing this game and it's you know, giving me some motion and I'm exercising and I'm actually going through like trying to, there's like one of the game was a tank. You know, you're actually driving a tank, you know, but you're riding a bike and driving a tank. And then you've got like the wearables now that can, you know, monitor your heartbeat. It could tell you, you know, how you're doing, help you with your health. And then you've got all these other, at Six Flags, you could do a roller coaster ride with a VR headset, and it feels like you're in the roller coaster. And I've seen, because when we did our demos at our conference and people were sitting in the roller coaster chairs, simulation chairs, and it was going down, you know how you go up on the roller coaster and they're going down, and you actually hear people scream, and people are putting their hands up and they're going, ah! You know, and nothing is happening to them. I mean, it's a really safe environment, but their sensories are, you know, I guess, you know, tricked into thinking that they're actually riding. So, you know, we've got lots of deals like with Six Flags, you know, doing these roller coaster rides, and you know, these, and then I see also arcades in the mall. If you guys like VR world, arcades in the mall, so kids can actually start playing that. And then the other piece is, you know, we've got all these, there are 360 cameras now that people are using to make, you know, realistic content and movies. And then we also have a distribution channel, Samsung VR, where people can download for free and watch all these different contents. So we're reaching out to filmmakers and creators and working with them, you know, to do really cool films in a VR experience, 3D. But then, that's already today, right? Now, what's in the future? In the future, AI and voice. That's like real. This is like really neat. But this is a really funny video. Can you play the video really quick?
What's that sharp thing?
Okay, I'm gonna stop. But, yeah, it's kind of cool, right? Because you think about, it's kind of foolish in a way. You think, you know, oh my God, I'm listening. But you know what? People are going to be doing that. But with all the voice now, with Alexa and, you know, Samsung Bixby, Google Voice, that's also the next future. They're playing games with your voice. So we were at a show, and one of the guys, he was like, there was a VR headset, and I was actually controlling, instead of like using, you know, like a controller or tapping, you know, on my headset, I was telling the characters in the game, like, build a bridge, jump over the lake, or do all these things. And so it's like, and they actually were doing that. So now it's like you're telling them, but then think about how we were doing the PS with the Xbox and I guess PS4s now, all the games, right? Those game consoles. Voice and being interactive with your friends in the games. This is the next big thing, even with a mobile device instead of PC or an Xbox. And whether whether you want to or not, AI is definitely going to have a big play. This whole artificial intelligence, the computers are really smart. So it always amazes me to think that, we launched, one of our satellites, right, in a long time ago in the 50s, right, with a computer that is bigger, those IBM computers that are bigger than this, that has like less computing power than what we have in our hands. Can you imagine this is going to be our future, and it's going to be better, right? Because like this device is probably obsolete in like three months now. All our devices. My devices, because we work with so many devices. Every 6 months, it's like, Suzanne, that's old. I'm like, I just got this. Get a new one. The new device just came out. But immersive play with AI and voice, playing against the computer, playing against things that are on your phone. It's like another friend of yours if you think about it. Like the movie Her, where you're actually the computer, your mobile device is your best friend. How many of you really leave your house without your phone? Come on, how many of you? Everyone leaves the device with their phone, right? You leave the house with their phone, right? Right? How many of you? Do you feel naked without your phone? Right? So that's your best friend. I can't leave without my phone, but I'll leave the house without my husband. Right? So haptic is also, I came from, I don't know if any of my buddies from Immersion is here, but I came from also, before I came to Samsung, I worked at Immersion. And so haptic is also very, near and dear to my heart. And haptic devices are also really cool, because what it does is it makes you feel the reality of things. So not only the hearing and you being able to talk and visualizing, but you actually can touch and feel. And nowadays with all the gloves and all these things that you can do, it's really cool, because you can feel like you're in another world and you can play games and it feels like it's real. Sometimes it's scary, but sometimes it's, it's like, wow. Neural interface. So this one, this is an interesting one. So I went to a conference, a Red Bull conference, and there was a neuroscientist who was talking about, when we said, well, what do you see the future will be in like 5 years from now? And he's saying like, oh yeah, all of us will have chips in our heads. And I went, whoa, I'm not having any chip in my head. But literally, he was saying that there's a lot of research that's done today where people can use, their mind and thinking and their nerves and their sensories to actually control things. And he's, the scientist was saying, with a chip in your head, he was even mentioning like in Silicon Valley, maybe somewhere in San Francisco, there's some billionaire that decides to stick a chip in his head, and then he then says, everybody goes, oh wow, that's cool because he did it. And everybody will want to have chips in their heads. And then we can control our phones, we control our homes, we control the alarm, we control all of that just by thinking of it. It's a little very sci-fi for me, but look, this reality, people are starting to do that. So we have a speaker up in our upcoming conference. She's a creator, Anouk Wipchak, and she created this dress. If you look at the girl with the little spikes, so this dress senses your feelings and your fear, and the claws will come out if people get too close to her space. And so it'll literally go out like this. She'll be at our conference and she'll be wearing that dress. But and she felt like at first it was too sensitive when she first started it, because the models would, because people see that and they're like, oh my god, that's so cool, and they people have no sense of space sometimes, right? They just come rushing at you and they try to touch you, and the claws would automatically just go out, and it's like, get away from me. Defensive mechanism, and that's all based upon the feeling of the model that's wearing it. So it's those kind of things are really, I think that's really cool. There's the other models like below there where it's actually sensing. If you could look, it touches into like the neural space in her head. That's also another model, another outfit that she created. So now a little bit about the Samsung development. So all these things that I've talked about with you guys, we're working on those at Samsung, and we are building the developer community to help foster the innovation. And that also helps with building better content for our conferences, having better demos for us when we go out. So I'm from Samsung, so this is my Samsung plug. Please get involved with us, be a part of our community, and to do that, just samsungdevelopers.com and sign up. We have a booth out there if you guys want to also go out and talk to some of us. But the one thing that I want to tell you about the developer program, which is really cool, is we're giving like 2.5 hours of free QA for all the game developers that sign up. And so if you're doing games and you want to promote it into Samsung Galaxy apps, we do all of this, and it's like a white glove treatment, and it's free. So it doesn't cost you anything, but it really helps you how to get certified, questions like that you run into problems. And then we showcase some of the applications at our conferences. So Samsung Developer Conference is coming up. It is October 18 and 19. Because we love the attendees here at PG Connect, we would love to offer a 50% off for the conference. Our registration will open this evening, and we have a code for you all to get 50% off. And normally that code, that 50%, also qualifies you for our premium gift, aka some kind of device. I didn't say that. But if you are interested in attending, it's here in San Francisco, Moscone West. Please sign up, and the code is really only good for until Thursday. So we just really want people to take a look, and it really is for you guys. We have a game track, we'll have a creators track, we have lots of activities. We also have a great celebration with Open Bar, and we'll have Banks and Bonobo playing this year. Let me see, what else is there? Thank you, and please follow us. That's how you can contact us. I hope it was inspirational, at least innovative, and you enjoyed my presentation. And if you do, let us know.